What happens when love and music intertwine? Find out in Lee Adams' newest release, Love on Tour. Set against the backdrop of a thrilling concert tour, this story explores passion, heartbreak, and finding your true melody. Perfect for anyone who believes in second chances and unforgettable moments. Don't miss out. Pre-order your copy at leeadamsbooks.com today and be part of the story that will rock your world.
Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch transfer.
It's probably the least sexy part of organizing. That's okay. No. The truth is,
We have Real Life Prosthetics back. So we have Jonas Seberg with us, and we're going to go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves. And we're going to be talking about the Amputee Friends Group, is it? As well as a nonprofit, and hear their stories. And no, Sunshine is not riding a bike yet. So everybody, we'll start to my left and go around. Just introduce yourselves.
So I'm Jonas Seberg, CPO with Real Life Prosthetics, and I have nothing to do with this group getting together. So this was totally organic. This was, all of them getting together, living life together. So I get photos and videos, and I get to laugh as they send me updates as to what they're doing. So they definitely live life on the edge.
Yeah, that would be you, Rebecca.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rebecca Welsh. I got through the friend group from Michelle because we weren't allowed to get certain names. So then Michelle decided to spark this group up and then friended everybody. So we all get together and hang out.
That would be me.
That would be her.
My name is Michelle Willoughby. I'm a fairly new amputee. It's been 2 years. I got bored and lonely. There was a lot of things I didn't know about being an amputee, and I really did not want to go to a support group.
Right.
So I started meeting people through Real Life, my prosthetic company, and Align Physical Therapy, and started talking to people and found out that we're all pretty much in the same boat. We've got struggles and just don't know what to do with them, or the regular people with two legs, they just don't understand some of our issues. So it's nice to get together and carry on, make jokes, find things that we can do to have fun and not hold anybody else back because of, our disabilities.
Go ahead, Sunshine.
Well, I'm Joanne Pressbury, and I am not trying to hold nobody back. I got to do what I got to do, and I want very much to be involved in something with somebody like me and to do other things and to prove that I can do it. Just because I'm like this don't mean it's not going to stop me.
Right.
I got to keep going.
Now, Joanne, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time you were on, didn't you tell me the next time you would be on, you promised me that you'd be riding that bike?
Yes, I'm going to try. I got to get a bike first.
Oh, all right. So that's the reason why you're not riding one yet. Okay, it makes sense.
Somebody got to let me ride.
And the weather coming off of winter.
And it's starting to get warm outside, so.
I have a bike. We'll take you, put you at the top of the hill, and just let you go.
Okay.
What the hell? What?
That's
I'm telling you, that's what they would do. That's what they do in the group.
That's what we do.
That is what.
You put people on a bike and
Played crash-up derby with mobility devices, whatever we can find that make life exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I want to be able to do anything with stuff like that.
It just sounds like a lot of fun.
I know. Just because I lost a leg doesn't mean it should be able to stop me from doing what I normally do. I got to keep going.
We just do it differently.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, pushing people down a hill. I mean, that's definitely. You mentioned.
I mean, we also try to lift people up. You know, when she
When
crashed.
she falls,
When she crashed, I was trying to lift the crash
she'll
thing.
get on one side, I'll get on the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, we got her.
Pick her back up and push her down again, right? You mentioned something that you couldn't use certain names with the group or something.
So we tried to. I tried to post some adventures. We found this nonprofit called 3 Blessings Disabled Adventures, and I was trying to post some of their adventures. They're free. They provide us with the equipment. They got these really cool 4-wheel, all-terrain, like wheelchair type things.
Right.
Man, we had so much fun going through streams and over hills. And
I don't know about all that, but I'll try as long as it's a straight.
I'll drive you, sit in the back. But I kept trying to post it, and they kept kicking it out, saying that we were posting offensive stuff. So,
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, we're trying to figure out how to get around that. And the company themselves are trying to figure out what the hang up is. So, that was a little bit of a...
I don't understand what would be offensive.
I don't know.
You never know. I mean, it's,
Maybe I just don't know how to work the parameters or something. I just don't know.
I tried posting it too, and it didn't go through either.
Yeah, it said we
it's
violated community
Yeah.
standards or something.
And it could be of a picture, it could be of a video, it's words. It's so. I mean, I've had posts taken down because they said it violated the same thing. I'm like, we violated it.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe we used the company's name, and we didn't have the rights to.
Well,
do
no,
so,
because they
maybe?
said they can't even post
Really?
their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that because if you can tag a company, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you did that. Well, it's a Facebook group, right? Not a page.
Yeah, we made it was a really private group
Right.
where it was by invite only, but I have opened it up to where you could find us on Facebook.
Okay.
And then there's some questions and stuff that we like you to answer so that we can kind of try to weed out people that are there with, not so great intentions.
And how many people you have in the group now?
Oh, I don't know, like 16, 17.
Right.
Something like that.
We've had a few at it recently.
And you guys are trying to find things where you could go out and do like
yeah.
the 3 blessings.
Yeah, I mean,
anything. I mean, Michelle and I we're like that. They have the kayaking, and they do hiking, not motorcycle, but the hand cycling.
Yeah.
They
Fishing,
hunting.
hunting.
There's just with that organization, there's just the opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities, and they're looking for other things. And Michelle and I are going to help try to figure out and organize some stuff too.
How'd you find them?
I came across them. I'm not even sure how I found them, and they offer all this equipment for us to use it free of charge. For disabled people, it's adaptive equipment. They have adaptive kayaks, and they have regular kayaks if you want to bring a family a member or a friend with you that's, not disabled. They've got those wheelchair things, which were really fun. They're looking into buying a pontoon boat so we could go fishing. They have this really cool all-terrain stand-up wheelchair for hunting.
A stand-up wheelchair?
It looks like a tank. It's got
Yeah.
tank wheels.
Oh, that's the track thing.
For people that have their injuries are like paralysis, to where
Yeah.
they can't stand, so it actually gives them the ability to stand if they want, and they can like go back through the trails, like actually like a walking feeling, but they're just upright and not just sitting from a chair.
Yeah, so they can go hunting in it and stuff like that, which is amazing.
There's nothing else
Well, the
like
gentleman,
that around here.
the
is there?
gentleman that is his nonprofit, it's Malcolm, correct? And Malcolm he's disabled, so
Okay.
so I guess that's where he got the idea. I'm not speaking for him by no means, but I guess that's where he got the idea from, and going from
So
there.
has Jonas been on any of these adventures with you guys yet?
Have you went out there?
No,
Not
I
yet.
just get videos.
Could y'all have got lost in the woods? Or is it?
Yeah, but there was trails
Oh,
everywhere.
no.
Eventually, you'd
Markers.
come out somewhere.
I wouldn't mind doing it, but I don't know. I'd be scared. I get
Yeah,
myself
you can
lost.
go. I had it turned up as high as it
An
would
honest
go.
mistake.
You know, you can turn it down.
Well, the trails they color coordinate them. Like some of the trails are pink, was it pink, purple, and white, and and green. You just follow that trail.
Oh, okay.
And you
How
can go
many
to
acres do they have over
Oh
there?
man,
It's a bunch.
lot.
It used to be a paintball place.
Robin Hood paintball.
Yes, but we had a tour guide. Poor guy. He was
trying to
on
keep
a
up-
bicycle trying to keep up
with us.
or us trying not to run him over because he
That's
was
true.
not going fast enough for me. I was trying to have fun.
Sooner or later, he just stopped and was like, "You guys just go. We'll meet you up there." And we're like, "Okay."
Yeah. And then I had to go to the little girl's room, and that's when I was in a really big hurry, and I turned this corner, and all the leaves made me kind of do a little
Well, it's because
spin
we were
out.
That's what that.
Well, there was a rock under the leaves. Didn't see it.
Yeah,
You
there's a
didn't
lot of
hurt
those.
yourself. What do you didn't hurt yourself?
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. So if they push you down the hill on the bicycle, they'll pick you up.
Oh,
Yeah.
if I don't go
It
hit a
might
tree or
hurt.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and they're more than willing. Like if you give them advance notice that you would like to do this, they're more than willing to come out and let people come out and
So it's
use their
for
equipment.
amputees, people that, like you said, paralysis.
disabilities, any
Just
type of disability you
all
want
type-
to. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we found them, and hopefully we can work with them more this
Yeah.
summer, and
Yeah.
That's the goal.
kind of help them grow a community while we also grow and find fun things to get into. They've been very sweet. They offered to have us a bonfire,
Yeah.
and we could take turns riding those carts and stuff.
Not into the bonfire, though.
Not, no, but we're building a ramp.
Yeah.
You see them jumping the bonfire.
I can see myself there.
Yeah. Fun times. Look, you don't lose 2 body parts in less than 5
right.
years by playing it safe.
Michelle, were you always this wild?
I think so.
Wow.
Well, I was a Baltimore City fireman for 25 years. So
25 years.
yeah, I retired after this happened. But it makes you kind of like live life
on the edge.
dangerously.
Do you mind sharing what actually happened?
With how I lost my leg. I was hit by a drunk driver while I was on my motorcycle, so I was off duty. And when it first happened, I was still in really good shape. So Jonas and them, I mean, they worked their butts off to help me train every day, get a leg that was perfect so that I could take the functional capacity test to get my job back because I was running out of time and they were going to take my insurance. So it was a really stressful time. But they helped me. We trained. We did some crazy stuff. I ended up passing this 4-hour-long physical agility test.
Wow.
And I got my job back, full duty. I knew that I did not want to go back to like fighting fire or I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm a little crazy, but not completely stupid. So I just wanted to get enough time. I had 3 months to hit my 25-year mark, just 3 months. And I wasn't going to let this be stolen from me.
Right.
So I went back for the 3 months to get my full pension, and then I had to have another surgery. And, from there, it's just been surgery after surgery and a little bit of downtime here and there. So I've had plenty of time sitting and,
Thinking.
Right.
of ways to make not just my life better, but hopefully other people's, because I know the loneliness I felt. After a time, your friends stop visiting as much and don't invite you to do these things because you can't stand as long or walk as far.
Yeah.
And so it started to get really lonely. And I'm a people person, and I love to go out and do things all the time. And I was just thinking about myself and how other people in the same situation, that may not have the personality to go out and say, hey, you want to be friends? You want to go hang out and do something crazy or fun? So yeah, that's how this all came about, and I'm blessed by it because like me and Rebecca, we go to concerts. We're getting ready to go to if you want to go with us.
The Abilities Expo.
Yeah, the Abilities Expo. We're gonna go spend the night
It's an
and
Abilities
check out all the
Expo.
latest
Where's this
equipment in New Jersey.
Okay.
And then Tom, he's not here today,
Right.
but we hang out and we bought scooters with seats and we go up on the trails and ride around. Just try to live life and make it fun.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for your time, as a firefighter, because I know that's something, unfortunately, a lot of first responders don't hear enough. Have you gotten back on the motorcycle again, or?
No. Okay. So when it first happened, I was hell bent on getting back to a motorcycle because you always get off the horse that threw you off. You have to, but the struggles that I've had with this, are a lot more than they were in my brain when it first happened. Like I thought, I'm going to get a leg and I'm just going to go on about life and everything's going to be fine. And it's a lot more difficult than I thought it was. And, it's a process getting legs to fit. You're shrinking, you need to get a new leg. There's that in between. So there was a lot that I just didn't know. And now weighing those benefits against the risks, I'm kicking myself forever even riding a motorcycle to begin with. And I've seen some horrible motorcycle accidents. I've been, the fire crew on the scene. And you always just think it's not going to happen to me. I drive a fire truck. I know how to drive. I watch
the
for
other
people
around you that don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yeah.
What we used to say, the four-wheelers, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I'd say, and what Michelle's speaking of, like the first 24 months for most amputees is a very trying time because you've lost your limb, your body's going through the healing process, you're trying to get into a socket and walk. As you're walking on your prosthetic device, your leg shrinks in size, like the residual limb in comparison to the socket. So you're going through like socket after socket after socket, trying to build a socket smaller to accommodate anatomical change. There's many different suspension systems. There's different liner systems. There's different foot systems, ankle systems.
Like me.
And yeah, so Joanne, like you've been through that. So it's for most amputees, that first 24 months is a bear trying to contend with limb reduction, trying to maintain a comfortable socket fit. So for most, you don't maintain a comfortable socket fit because your limb shrinks. You're trying to add socks to take up the space between the smaller residual limb and the socket wall. And then you're trying to test different components. So one thing with prosthetics, it's not like purchasing a car, like where you can go and test drive the car to see if you like the component or not. So unfortunately, with the process, of rehabilitation, it's okay. I'm going to try this form of suspension. So I'm going to try a pin lock, or I'm going to try suction or vacuum. I'm going to like it, or I'm not going to like it. And then I'm going to try different systems. So if you're looking at an amputee 3, 4, 5 years down the road, they've tried different suspension systems. They've tried different prosthetic feet. They know the formula that pretty much that works for them, and everybody's different. So there's no cookie cutter process to where this suspension system, this socket design, these alignable components, this prosthetic foot is for everybody. Everybody has unique goals. Everybody lives life differently, and there's so many different components to choose from that we build and integrate into the prosthetic design. Like, it really is one of a kind. So they're challenging times. They're lonely times. They're frustrating, angry times. A lot of anger in the beginning. It's just it's the normal process.
Poor Jonas. I've cried and yelled and jumped up and down in his office, and it really had nothing to do with him. It was just where I was at in the process, which was another reason I wanted to make this group, was because I didn't know. I didn't know all this. Like, I wish somebody would have said. So we've got people in our group that are at various different stages, 12 years, how many years? 5, 2. We got a guy that's less than a year, another guy that's, only a few months, and all these questions. And I wish somebody would have been there to say to me, hey, look, you're not going to get your first leg and go run marathons, because in my mind, if it was based on my physical ability, that's what I was going to do, and it was out of my control. So that just takes the whole everything to a new mental health level. You know, you're dealing with so much change in your life. You know who you were. You're trying
your
to
identity
recapture.
is really
Yeah.
you lose a sense of your identity.
Yeah.
You know, definitely does.
Yeah.
12 years for you, Rebecca?
14.
14. So you're the veteran of the group.
Am I? Am
Yes,
I the
you
one?
are.
Oh
I
yeah, I
think
guess
you
I
are.
am.
You are.
And this is your first time on. Can you share your story?
Sure. I was on my way to work on 95. I got on in Abingdon, and a guy hit me from behind and rolled me all the way across the highway. I was in the slow lane, and he passed me. He was trying to pass me off the shoulder, and he come around this way, but he clipped the back end of my truck and rolled me all the way across. And I ended up being in the median facing southbound, and it crushed both my ankles.
Oh,
And he was
Yeah.
on drugs.
Oh yeah, he had so much drugs in his system, like cocaine, methadone, all kinds of barbiturates. And
Wow.
he was pretty good to go. He was perfectly fine, nothing wrong with him. They actually put him right in the next room next to in the hospital.
are you serious?
And my brother was gonna tear him up.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, well, he was waiting for me to die, is what he was saying. If she would just die, I can leave. And my brother was.
Oh.
Get out of
way.
here.
And my brother told that cop, "You better get him the hell out of here. He's gonna yank him up." So, yeah, it was bad.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's just a whole nother like mental thing that you struggle with is not being bitter and being angry
Yeah.
and wanting, you know, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I cried every day for over a year. I mean, because it just, I mean, I wouldn't do it in front of everybody like you'd be in the shower because you're looking at yourself and your whole, because me and the girls would go, I have 2 daughters, and we would go to the beach every week, or not every weekend, but we'd constantly, either go to the beach or go to the swimming pool, or we'd just be out doing something all the time. And to have your life just come to a complete abrupt, just, doof, and then you're looking at yourself in the mirror. I mean, I didn't even want to look at myself. I still don't want to look at myself because, it's just not, it's not who you are or who you were, But you are still who you are, but you just don't look the same way. And that's one of the biggest battles is just your identity,
Yeah, figuring out like,
who you are now.
Yeah. So, and when did this group start?
last year.
Yeah.
Last year. So I mean, you weren't in no groups or support system or anything.
I never had it now.
So
No,
how much of a difference has this made for you?
I mean, it's good. I mean, we talk all the
made
time.
friendships.
I made
Yeah.
friends, and it's nice to
Friendships.
have, to have somebody that understands what you're going through.
Right.
If you're complaining about this or complaining about that, so it makes it nice.
Yeah,
And
she's
if
so
we-
far along now that she's kind of gotten her life. It's nice to have other people in her life that
Yeah.
can understand and relate. But she's so far along that she was forced to build a life, probably starting out
Yeah.
feeling very alone.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Wow.
because.
But you know what? I don't think I ever. I lost my legs and stuff to diabetes. Mm-hmm. But the day I came home from the hospital, I was sitting in the wheelchair and looking out the window, and I kept on saying to myself, "This is not going to be me sitting in that chair." But I never, in my mind, thought that I had Jonas, even though I was seeing him from my other leg. Never thought in my mind that first thing by having the prosthetic. That never did come to my mind.
Yeah.
But with Jonas helping me with that, everything changed. I mean, listening to y'all two, I don't seem like I ever went that way.
No. Well,
And I think it
these are
could be
the.
because with them two, it was an accident.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
it was
accidents.
just traumatic.
The trauma.
Yeah.
It was just life changing overnight. Like there was no preparing for it, and
Felt like
you know,
our life was kind of
obviously,
ripped away a little bit.
Yeah.
that frame of mind's not where we stayed
No,
or
no.
wanted to
Right.
stay. It's what we were going through
At that time.
And like you, I'm looking out the door and I'm like, okay, how am I going to make this different? How am I going to make that better? And one of the ways I thought of doing that was surrounding myself by other people that could understand, relate, and hobble to the fishing spot with.
Right.
A lot of things with me, like I didn't just lose one leg, I lost both.
Both,
of
yeah.
them. So if I say it all the time. I mean, I just wish I had at least one of a good leg, because it would make things so much better. Because
Right.
it's difficult to try to get your balance right, and I'm so sensitive to everything, with my limbs. Poor Jonas, I give him all the credit because he tries.
Yeah, he puts up with us.
Yeah, he does.
So did you find him right away?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. He was one of the very first ones I met with down there. Yeah.
Okay.
Jonas is a therapist and a prosthetist.
Yeah.
You said it right.
I
That's
did.
it. You got it. Go ahead, say
What
it,
was
Rich.
that?
What am I,
I
Rich?
practiced prosthetist.
Prosthetist.
Can you spell it?
Prosthetist.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
You got it, Rich. Good job.
Dana's sitting there laughing her tail off too. He's like,
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. You know what? Next time we are going to get you on.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, and they, you had asked if I've, been to any other, get-togethers, and I did go to one. So they invited me. They were all meeting at a restaurant. Came in. There's like,
Well, that ain't
probably,
dangerous.
I mean, it was
were
like probably
throwing
like a
knives.
dozen.
Yes,
like,
it was a lot of
probably
us.
a dozen people. Like they're at Applebee's in Aberdeen, and it was just sitting down, having the dinner together, talking, enjoying. And I think after that, then ended up going to Tom's house, right? Like some
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
broke off. So it's
Right.
like they're going out to grab a bite together. They're going to each other's homes. So
And the thing is we don't try to be like Debbie Downers or anything. We want to have fun, and it's really cool to meet other people. We can understand the struggles.
Relate.
Somebody might say, I'm afraid to drive in a car anymore. I get that.
Yeah.
And for me, I went and did therapy, because I had PTSD. And some people aren't even aware that there's help for that, mental health issue. And they kind of accept that as a way of life. They don't even realize that it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
So, we help each other in so many ways, just...
Yeah.
How old's the youngest person in your group?
Who is the
Do you know?
youngest person?
Is it Christina?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say she's in her 30s. No, she might be 40.
Do you think she's like 40?
Yeah. No. Then there's Sean.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He's young. Yeah,
Sorry.
Some of these people, we're just
We're
like...
just meeting,
just
so I
meeting.
haven't met him yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's I'm sure most of the people in the group, you guys know from real life.
So there's a lot of them. I mean, there's one guy that I met at Wawa. There's another guy that Tom met at Home Depot.
Okay.
Sean, he does come there. I've got to meet him a couple times and talk, and he interacts with us on Facebook, and we've talked on the phone. So some of them, I've talked to and never seen in person yet, and then the ones that are a little more closer, we try to get together. We went to dinner a couple times. We had a bonfire, and we went to a couple concerts and it was another concert,
Yeah.
and just stuff,
Yeah.
And in that group, you meet somebody that you might really bond with, and
So when you started, you said that you weren't looking for a support group, right?
no,
We're just looking to
Did
get
you
out
ever,
and do things.
Did you ever think that you would be starting one? Because technically, that's what you guys are. You are supporting
and we
each
are,
other.
yeah. But and that was what's important to most of us in the group is we don't want to sit around and just talk about how miserable
Right.
life
Yeah.
is.
We get tired of that.
How do we fix this? What can we do
Live life.
to make it better? Right.
And that's what it is. And see, we're just trying to get it
You're
out
helping
there
each other.
because it's like a lot of people don't know that there is a group. So then
Right.
that's like when we're out in public and people are like, oh, and then you tell them, then they're like, oh, I never knew about it. I never heard about it. And I know there's a couple people in Havre de Grace, and we don't know. One of our friends, Tom, he ended up losing his arm and his leg over the summer.
Yeah.
I know you heard of that in the Susquehanna. And there was was one or two ladies that was in Havre de Grace that was trying to reach out to our group, but that post got deleted, so we weren't able to reach out to her. But she was definitely trying to find a
That
group to get
post got
involved.
deleted?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
somebody
know when
deleted
he
it.
lost that, or lost both, and then it put that post. Somebody put that post.
I
up,
did.
but
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
I
they
did.
have each other's backs, Rich. Like when
Yeah.
Tom went over and lost his arm and his leg, Rebecca was all over it. So she ended up posting on Facebook, and it just
blew
took
up.
off.
Yeah.
It blew
Yeah.
I
up.
mean, people were going out in their boats looking.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the people.
State was involved,
In our,
They had
not
sonar,
Scuba
divers,
divers,
they
sonar,
had groups of
drones.
scuba
Yeah.
divers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
state police, DNR.
But he never did find them, right?
No.
No.
No, but it took off. I mean, it gained traction. He had a lot of help. Unfortunately, it didn't.
They have each other's backs.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Jonas, this is probably a question for you. In a case like that with Tom, can he get insurance for that? How's that?
That was
work?
the first thing I asked him. I'm like,
Yes.
please tell me you could insure that or something. I don't know,
very
but it
expensive.
is something
I've heard.
worth looking
The
into.
insurance is very expensive.
Okay.
But he was able to get like insurance like coverage for replacements.
Okay.
So we're still in that process. So since you saw him last, the osteointegrated arm that he has, he's doing the same thing in his leg. So now he's going through the healing process so he can have a skeletal connect.
Wow.
So he's been laid up for a while, so he's going stir crazy. He's always outdoors and these processes of getting the insurance, like getting all the paperwork, getting the approval, getting these compassionate exemptions, because like his arm still isn't FDA approved, so we're having to go through extra steps. So right now, like we're waiting for approval.
It's just been a nightmare for him.
we can order the component in from Sweden to bring it into the U.S. following FDA guidelines. So right now we have a hold up on getting his arm because we can't get the coupler from Sweden until all of the paperwork is processed.
And it's been
it's out of our hands.
It's been like 5 months.
It's a waiting it's a waiting game at this point.
He's going ballistic.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is.
I mean, unfortunately, I haven't gotten over there as much as I would like to. But we do talk to him regularly. Like, she'll call him, I call him. I know some of the other guys, have reached out to him. We try to keep in touch because it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in appointments, like I'm working with you. Oh, that was Rebecca.
Yeah.
Oh, that was John. Oh, that was so. It's like they're definitely connected. So, in communication with each other for sure.
Well, you got to get him back on once everything.
Oh yeah, he will.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Yeah. Because I told him when he came on. Oh my God! It was like, it was like almost listening to a motivational speaker. I was floored.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the same way.
Well, thank you.
I mean, in all honesty, and I told Tom this, I think you guys all are looking at going out and speaking to groups, especially schools and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we could.
Yeah, and we've talked about the possibility of doing many things because there is such a need.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep a good frame of mind, and you need that support for that too. To keep a positive outlook and, share your strengths and hopes with each other. Somebody that's coming in brand new that doesn't have a prosthetic leg yet, all they see is their life is ended.
Yeah.
But through involvement with all of us, and they say, oh, she's got a job and she's going out doing this and that, it gives hope too.
So what would you guys like to see happen with the group? Where would you like to take it to?
As far as it'll go, just getting people together to get them out. We're trying to get people out to feel like they're not just stuck in their house.
Right.
Make them feel alive again, not just.
And it gives each one of us, I think, a sense of purpose when you're helping somebody else through those hard times. And we do that. We call each other. We try to encourage each other. So it gives us a sense of purpose. And I'd love to do things like take some type of adaptive camping trip together. That could be fun. Crash up derby with the mobile scooter.
Have you contacted anybody at Perry Point, the VA hospital?
No.
Because I'm sure, we know there's a lot of veterans that are amputees,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there's probably a lot there, and if they can't help you, even CHEP, which is a nonprofit, which is out of there as well. God, because what you guys are doing is awesome.
Well, thank you.
You're helping each other and pushing people down a hill.
Yeah.
But it's the as they're living life together, you have amputees going through like different stages of the prosthetic rehabilitation process. So, Joanne's been through a lot. She's had a lot of anatomical change. She's had her ups. She's had her downs. She is one in the group that would, be the motivator. Like I don't want to hear any excuses. You just get up and you do it. That was her mindset.
I
That's
love
what
that.
she did. That's so you have these different personalities to really pour into somebody who's going through the process for the first time, because it's so scary. You don't know the future. You don't know what it holds. But if you have friends who have been through it, and then you're talking one-on-one, it's huge. So you're getting different angles and different perspectives of from friends, helping to get you through that rehabilitation process, just really motivating each other.
Because
and sometimes having those hard talks,
Right.
you would be that hard talk. I don't want to hear it.
Because my neighbor, he just lost his leg. They finished the rest of it yesterday. And I'm going to go by and see him at the hospital. And I told him that I'm there for him.
Right.
I told his son-in-law, I've been there and done that, and I can do what I can to help him and make him, understand what we went through. And he's got to learn
Let him know
too.
he's not alone,
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a big thing.
I mean, sadly, a lot of people do get bitter and angry, and they choose to stay that way, and
But I wasn't like that.
no, I'm not like that.
I was determined I had to. I wasn't sitting in that wheelchair. I had to get up and do. And I do stuff on my own. I don't want nobody helping me. My sister always say, "No, I don't want you to do it. Don't tell me I can't do
Oh
this.
yeah,
Right.
it just
Don't
drives,
that's
tell me. I'm
frustrating.
going to do it."
it drives me nuts.
Laundry. I take laundry from stairs. Always. Oh, he tells me, "Oh, you need to let somebody know you're going up and down." No, I can do it myself.
People got
Yeah.
No, I want to do it myself.
Motivate me on that.
No, I
People got to
can't. No.
realize, and it's not just you, but it's with all amputees. If,
Your life's not
if you
over.
want help, you're going to ask for help.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I mean, and I think that's if any. Well, there are some people that won't ask for help. But
I was kind of one of them though.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me to do
Was
in
to ask
life
for
was
help.
to ask for help, and now I need help with some things.
Right.
Like cleaning my house. Oh,
Oh, I do. I do all that on my own. If there's something down low,
yeah.
I get on the floor and I do it. Because every time when I'm on the floor and I say, how am I going to get back up? I always think about how Michelle showed me how to get up, and that's how I do it. I do it
Yeah.
on my own.
I do too. But
I clean the
can get
house by
somebody else to
myself.
Clean my house. I'll ask them. No, I'm just joking.
I know. I do that myself. I do all that myself.
so
Do you have a strong independent wife, Rodney?
Yeah, I mean, I help her out. Taking all the glory. I'm allowed to take the glory.
Yeah. No taking. I did the glory.
I've been used to doing things my mom taught me.
what are some of the things you guys want to do with the group you haven't been able to do yet?
We're going to go the camping, the kayaking,
Yeah, we kicked around like a non-profit to try to maybe raise funds because some of the amputees, well, most of the amputees are barely getting by because they can't work. They've been denied by Social Security disability, or they're getting bare minimum. So we thought about trying to find a way to raise money so that we could do little group activities, nothing fancy, maybe a little camping trip, but not everybody can afford to do that. And I wish I had the money that I could pay
Right.
for everybody
Right.
to do it. But, it'd be nice if we could all go as a group to a concert. But, concert tickets are expensive. Not everybody's got it.
And some things that I think about, I go out in my garage, and if my son's got his music playing, I go out there and try to dance.
Oh, I love that.
I don't like to dance, but I get out there and I try to dance. Just out there and sway myself back across the floor outside, especially line dance. I'm trying
I
to.
love the line.
I'm trying to do that.
And that's the other thing we were working with. Hopefully, Michelle in the future is I would love to do an adaptive line dance class at the studio. Yeah, it was so much fun. Now I'll go out and I will dance. I'll dance and I'll do the cha-cha slide. Yeah, I have a little bit of problems with the crisscross and the turning around. But luckily, I'm not afraid of making a fool of myself. And I just have a good time with it, and it's challenging. And I'll send Michelle videos. I'm like, look, I'm doing PT out on the dance floor at some, restaurant.
You're not bashful?
No.
I am a little bit, but
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
once I get started, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Got country line dancing on Thursday
Yeah.
night. I'm gonna go.
Okay.
And so that's the thing, like I had no idea that she had a desire to do some
Yeah,
line
I'll
dancing.
try to dance. I go somewhere where nobody's watching me and I'll dance.
But like I'm not afraid to do it out in public. But how cool is it for somebody who's a little less, little less outgoing? Now you got a partner. We can go out there and make fools of ourselves and just have a good time with it.
Right.
If we fall over, we laugh. You're
get
not
back up.
alone. You're not alone.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. I've got to tell you about something that's seriously impressive. My good friend Chris recently tried M-Sculpt Neo at Living Well Healthcare in Elkton, and the results, absolutely incredible. I'm talking visible muscle tone and fat reduction, all without stepping foot into a gym. M-Sculpt Neo is a non-invasive body contouring treatment that builds muscle and burns fat at the same time. It uses advanced technology to give you the equivalent of 20,000 crunches or squats in one session. You heard me right, 20,000. Living Well Healthcare in Elkton isn't just another wellness center. It's run by Dr. William Clifford, who's been helping people feel and move better for decades. If you're tired of working out without seeing results, or just want a kickstart to your fitness goals, this is the move. Check them out at livingwellhealthcareelkton.com. Again, that's livingwellhealthcareelkton.com. And tell them Rich and Chris sent you. So, what's holding you guys back from starting your own nonprofit?
Time, energy.
Well, we was looking up the
Know-how.
applications and stuff because we were looking, seeing which we would have to fill out and everything. And then when we went down to Three Blessings down there, and we had mentioned that that's what we wanted to do too, and they're like, "Well, why don't you guys just join with us? And we could help you and you could help us."
Yeah, we're going to try to figure all that out soon. We've had
I
a
would do it
meeting.
both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would still work with them, but the thing is, what you guys are doing, and Jonas, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know of any groups out there like this where they're, amputees are helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is like the
Yeah,
Amputee Coalition.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
that's the
national
biggest
thing, right?
That's
Yeah.
national. Yeah, and then local, like you do have like amputee support groups, like in hospitals,
But
where
they're
they'll meet
nonprofits.
together. But as far as like amputees living life together, that's just this is unique.
Is it?
This is unique.
Yeah, and here's my thought. And so, if you guys started a nonprofit where your mission is to help other amputees, I mean, you could do that. Get the groups together for camping or whatever. The other thing, and we talked about this before, one of the things that people always have problems with is transportation to get to real life.
Yeah.
And that would help out a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice, if we could branch out a little bit more to like a support buddy system or where we could do more like that.
If you guys really want to do that, I'll get you hooked up.
Okay. We'll talk. Yeah.
Because I keep saying we, me and my co-host and I, we do a lot of roundtables. We have one coming up about nonprofits. And a lot of times people think it is hard to start a nonprofit. It's the paperwork. That's the hardest part. And of course the money.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. 'Cause the money is.
the thing is, it's once you get it, the people that you're going to be helping, it's got to be done.
We need somebody You got brains?
Just a little
You
bit.
got brains?
I don't
Is that
know.
what you just said?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere.
Because I don't know. It just sounds hard.
Your brain's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll get you guys the help that you need. I know a lot
mean-
of people that have started their own nonprofits.
I mean, we'd definitely be interested in seeing what they have to say or what we would have to get into. Absolutely.
I mean, it would be amazing to be able to help out some of the people that just they don't have the ways or means, just to be able to live life.
If you only knew somebody that knew,
Gosh, do you know anybody?
knew of people that really needed the help.
I don't know.
Jonas, you know anybody?
Yes. Yeah, it is. It's with the nonprofits. It is like the paperwork filings. Staying on top of like the admin side. So it's like having your administrator, having your bookkeeper, having just with keeping it going. I've never done
But it would
anything
keep
like
them-
where
but it
you're
would keep them
receiving
active.
donations or charitable contributions. Oh, they can do it. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, the brain's in there.
I just,
Yeah,
I'm just,
The brain's in there, Rebecca.
I'm not a
it's in there.
secretary.
You can definitely do it.
I type like Mike Tyson talks.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I'm missing that finger.
oh God. As long as you hear better than Evander Holyfield, right?
Or his ear. Look, yeah.
It was
Bit
Evander
it-
Holyfield.
bit his ear.
Yeah.
Bit his ear.
I still got my ear, but at my rate of losing body
Yeah.
parts.
Oh God.
Yeah, she lost her finger as
Wait a
well.
minute, what?
Yeah, that's why she's saying with the typing.
the
but
action
she's missing a.
No, I lost this on a job injury.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You lost a
Finger got ripped out.
you
Yeah,
didn't- I didn't
she's
even
got
notice.
sleeved.
Yeah.
If you move
God.
it
So
fast
she has a
enough,
picture of her
nobody
finger
notices.
like this long, and then the tendon that runs all the way up.
Yeah,
into her
that was a pretty
forearm.
wild picture.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
I lost that before I lost my leg.
You know, I think there's a point when every amputee, they get tired and something just clicks, and they're like, okay, I'm done, because they all go through that, feel sorry for themselves, and maybe you didn't, Miss.
No, I didn't feel
But
sorry
some
for
people do, Like when I was in the hospital, there was a lady that she just felt like her life was over, that she just wanted to die. That she didn't even want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
She would just rather sit there and use a bedpan, and she only lost one leg, and that really it bothered me because and that's the biggest thing, is just trying to talk to people and let them know their life isn't over. There's other people out there that,
Right.
may have it worse than you do, just get it out,
Actually, I have a question
Get the
for
group
each
out
of
there.
you. Because we've heard about, when the accidents happen and with your diabetes, the challenges you faced at first. What challenges do you face, each of you face now? If any.
I mean, I think for me, I guess because I am still fairly new, every day is a challenge, a mental challenge and a physical challenge. Like, I wake up in the morning, the first thing that's on my mind is, I don't want to put this leg on today.
Yeah, prosthetics
It's
is
heavy,
like
it hurts, I just don't feel like doing it, but I do it anyway. Those types of the challenges of not dwelling on the fact that the simple things like getting up and getting your water from the kitchen after you took your leg off, you can't help but to be like, man, I took my two legs for granted because there's, it's so much more difficult than I envisioned in my head. So, yeah, I mean, every day I think that we kind of have to battle thoughts, but it's what you do with them and where you stay. Some days I look at myself in the mirror and it's a kick in the gut and I feel sorry for myself, but it's a fleeting thing. I don't stay there.
Right.
No, I don't need to.
Yeah.
Other days I'm angry about the guy that hit me.
Yeah.
How dare you drink and drive? And, but
Yeah.
I can't stay bitter and angry.
Right.
I choose not to. So those are, my daily struggles.
Yep.
I don't have a daily struggle. I mean, I get up every morning, I just put my leg on and go about my business.
Yeah.
Good for you. And I hope
I don't
when I
think
get to
about any
5
of that.
years that I'm like that. And and I'm praying that I will be.
I mean, it is what it is. It's just part of your life now.
Right.
And it's just...
That's why I
Embrace
said
the
once I
suck.
get it on and I know I'm walking okay, I just go on like I didn't lose a leg.
Do you deal with pain?
No, I used to every now and then, but
Yeah.
I don't have the pain. And then, like I said about my friend, he just had his done, and he is in so much pain and all that. But I don't remember me ever having pain.
Well, it's like having a
I
baby.
didn't have any pain.
You're very fortunate because I know
No pain at all.
I've struggled for years with prosthetic fits.
I never took anything.
And, you know, because my skin was very thin because of my accident, it was trauma, so my skin was shredded. So there was a lot of nerve issues and a lot of skin grafts. And trying to find a good prosthetic fit, that's the key. You know, if you have a good fit, then you can go. You know, because my prosthetics stay on from the time I get 6:30, well, 7 o'clock in the morning till 9, 10 o'clock at night, whenever, you know. So having a good fit is key for everything. Yeah. You know.
And that's the thing. Like, I was just talking to a guy who's above the knee, still really, really new, and he's like, I wish I had a knee. I wish I had a knee. And everybody's amputation's different. Mine was a crush injury. I have a lot of nerve damage. I'm in pain 24/7. Some days worse than others, but my base level.
Is that the phantom pain?
No, it's just nerve pain.
I get
that's
that sometimes.
caught in scar tissue, and you know, and so everybody's dealing with a little something different. Some people are blessed and have no pain, and they, you know, they live life, and I think that's what makes it so frustrating to the people that have the struggles of the nerve damage and the pain. Is like, wow, they're out there running 5K marathons. Why ain't I there yet? But it's a whole process.
Yeah. Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. A diabetic amputation is clean cut, well thought out. You know, a trauma, we went in there, they had to make a quick choice, save our life, and, you know, we'll worry about how good of an amputation it is later.
Right. And that's
My
exactly
legs
it.
change all the time because I'm still. I think my legs gonna change again.
You've gone through a lot of reduction. Yeah, and everybody has their challenges. Like Rebecca, you know, there's no amputees that I've worked with over the last 25, 30 years that go through the volume change on a daily basis that she goes through. Like she has incredible struggle, and her hypersensitivity. I've never seen legs as sensitive as hers. Like her residual limbs, like if I put, just a speck like in her socket, like she could tell me where that speck is located.
It'll rub my flesh. It would like take my skin off.
Yeah, it's amazing, the hypersensitivity. Like even some of the liners, like even the seams or the stitching, like you'll see the redness right over the stitching, and that's through like a half an inch of gel.
Wow, it's just crazy.
But she, you know, I'm not seeing somebody like go through so much anatomical change on a daily basis. She'll get up in the morning some days and can't get into her legs like for an hour. Like where her limb won't sit in like position in the socket.
But this is 14 years later.
By the end of the day, she could be 16, 20 ply. That's a ton of socks. So it's like we've still never resolved like how do residual limbs go through this much fluctuation on a daily basis 14 years later. So everybody has their struggles. Everybody has their struggles in one way or another.
I have incredible empathy and admiration for Rebecca because like I can't imagine both legs. You know, I know how hard it is for me, like, and I can use a crutch to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. The thought of having to put this thing
I put my legs on every night if I have to go pee. And sometimes I got pee 2 or 3 times. I got to put my legs on and go. I mean, I know a lot of people can just get in their wheelchair and nothing, but the only time my wheelchair comes out is if I have skin breakdown and I cannot be on them. Other than that, I'm in them all the time, you know.
And that takes unbelievable strength and just determination because like I liken it to putting a very sore foot in a hard wooden clog. That's what it feels like, you know, to me anyway. And, you know, you got to make that choice like, okay, I'm going to do this again today. And she does it. I'm just amazed.
Actually, with you, Rebecca, how old were your girls when the accident happened?
Oh, gosh. They were little. 8 and 5, I think. 8 and 5.
And how were they? You know,
That's what was the biggest hard because it was just like our life just completely changed on us, you know. And it just felt like, you know, I can't get up and do the things I wanted to do with them. That was hard. But it was Haley, my youngest daughter, you know, because one day I was just feeling really sad for myself, just really, because I hadn't got my prosthetics yet. So the only way I could get in and out of my house is if my brother or my friend at the time would piggyback me out to my car, because I had a bi-level house. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just waiting because, to carry the stuff out. And my daughter come up and she put her hand, she's like, just hugging me. And she was like, "It's okay, Mommy. At least you're still here with us. A lot of people don't have that." And that just clicked it for me. I never didn't feel sorry for myself, didn't cry anymore about anything. I was just like, all right, that's it. Here we go, And then I went back to school and got a couple degrees. So,
A couple degrees?
Well, I got a degree in social work and psychology, and then I'm 10 classes away from another one. So,
Psychology.
Social work and psychology, yeah.
All right, so don't be picking my brain. Now, what about you, Michelle? Did you have any kids?
I do. She just turned 18, and she was probably like 15 when this happened. 15 going on 16. Plays soccer. I missed a lot of games, which I never missed anything.
Right.
Growing up, just didn't miss anything. So I missed out on a lot, but they were wonderful, and I'm trying to make up for it now. We're doing more things together and plan on taking more vacations and trips, and I'm retired now, so it makes it a little easier. I work part-time, and I don't know.
Something, and now I'm thinking of another reason for a nonprofit here. But I mean, you guys were adults when this happened. Imagine if you were kids. Everything is changing as you're getting older. So when this happened, how many different changes did you guys have to make to your house? And even your, car, are you both driving? Well, yeah, you drove up here.
Yeah.
Or your cars or anything? Did you have to make any changes whatsoever?
I didn't. There's no changes to my house.
No.
She's on a bi-level. I don't even know how she does it, because groceries, in
it's
your
a pain.
hands, trying to walk up the steps is, dangerous.
Well, and some people would say, "No, forget it. I want a ramp, or whatever."
Yeah. Well, a lot of people give up. They just give up. They refuse to try, and that's what I admire about her. Like, I want to hold on to a railing when I'm going up with my groceries, just because. I'm not there yet.
And what about you, Joanne? Did you have to make any adjustments in your house?
No, I was in a hospital bed for like 7 months.
At home?
Yes.
Okay.
But how about escalators?
Oh yeah, I started when I had the prosthetic. I was using it actually, but now I can't do it now.
She can.
No.
She's got to get out there with Michelle. She's got to get to the mall
I don't know
and
when
use
to
that
get
escalator.
on it. I sit there and I stare at it and I watch it go up, and I say, "Well, I'm going to take the next one." Then that goes by. I just can't do it.
So you're hoping that
You can do it.
the escalator
No, but
breaks
you can do it.
and becomes stairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I told this little girl, she was maybe about 6, she was scared to get on it. And I said, "Honey, please don't be scared. Look at me. I can get on it." And then what did I tell her that? I can't do it now.
God.
But I'll try. But I think I think I can go up the steps faster than I can go coming down the steps.
That's only because Michelle hasn't been behind you.
But I'm trying to go up the steps now without holding on to nothing.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing that. I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I do about 2-3 steps.
Kind of hard.
Yeah.
I can do about 2-3 steps, and then I start doing like that, and then I have.
Right.
But now I'm trying to get with a laundry basket up and down the steps. I'll do the first 3, then
Yeah.
I can't. I
Right.
can't.
I'm working on that too. I'm getting better at going down with no
So I just sit them
hands,
down and
but-
ease them on up the steps.
Yeah.
I have to change that age on that because I had one that was in 3rd grade and one that was going into 6th grade.
Oh, your kids. I thought you were
I have
changing
my-
your
no,
age. I'm going to
no,
be like,
I was
what?
sitting here, I'm thinking, wait a minute, she wasn't 5. She was in 3rd grade and the other one was going into 6th grade. So that's where they were.
7 and 10. somewhere
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
So they were young.
So your oldest is in her 20s now.
Oh yeah.
And now, is she still with you?
Oh no. I'm no.
I was going to say, but when they come around, are they still a big help?
Oh yeah. I mean, my youngest is still there, but my oldest, she has her. I have my granddaughter, and I have her all day long. Me and my granddaughter together every day.
What is it with you young women and grandkids?
Oh, that's my heart. That's my girl.
But I think I know where you were going with the adaptations
Well,
to the house.
Yeah, because the thing, especially with kids, you constantly have to change things. Any kids that are amputees throughout the years,
Yeah.
you have to change things. And I know insurance doesn't cover a lot of that.
No.
But a
Doesn't even-
nonprofit could help with that.
Oh yeah.
You
There's-
mentioned the wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know, even though you don't like to use it, but that's something that I'm sure you were in one when
Yeah.
once the accident happened. Now, granted, I know a lot of your Lions clubs will provide you with a wheelchair.
Yeah. I
But
wanted
still,
an
there's
electric
times-
one, and I had to pay out of pocket.
They're expensive.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it was $2,500, and I don't have like the top of the line, and it was $700 for a spare battery.
Yeah.
Insurance doesn't cover it, but
Yeah. Oh.
Well, you get a choice. Like certain insurance companies will give you a choice. They'll either tell you can have an electric one or you can have a manual one. But you can only get a wheelchair every 5 years? I think it is.
Yeah, because
5 years.
when I wanted a new one, they told me I had to wait to 2025 to get a new one. But I don't use it.
Yep. So it just sits in
they
the.
wouldn't give me one. They
Really?
said I was too abled and I could use crutches.
I couldn't do no crutches.
I mean, they would be nice to have at an amusement park or something.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to get an electric wheelchair, because for one, I didn't want to have to tear out my doorways to fit through, and it's small. Plus, if I go on a trip in the hotel, it's a foldable one that fits right in the trunk of the
Right.
car. I can get it in and out myself, and use it when I have to take my leg off to take a shower or whatever. I use it to scoot over.
All right. So where's the first camping trip going to be?
Somewhere nice. Where are we going to go? Let's see. We
I
haven't
know.
thought about it yet.
We'd probably
Let's see.
start out somewhere close,
Like local.
West
Like
Virginia.
Gettysburg?
Or Gettysburg.
I mean, if it's too far for him, shoot, we can set up. There's Yogi Bears right here. There's a couple of places that's local that we
We
can
talked
set up.
about doing it back in Tom's backyard.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
He's got a camper. I got a little
He has
camper.
plenty
Wait,
of
I thought you
land.
said
Yeah.
camping.
I have a tent. I have
Thank
a
you.
3-room
That's
tent.
camping.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay. There you go.
But I do have a blow-up
You're
mattress.
talking glamping.
I need air
Oh
conditioning.
yeah, we talked about that. She's just like, I gotta have air conditioning.
All right. So you want to go camping in late fall then?
Yeah, either that or someplace with air conditioning.
She wants air conditioning.
Right.
And I need a minimum of a
Glamour
blow-up
camping,
bed.
right?
Good
Glamping.
Lord, Michelle.
Well, technically, in our defense, when you're laying on the ground in a sleeping bag, trying to get up into your prosthetics is kind of a pain. So having the air mattress is
Yeah, when you don't have nothing to hold on to.
I would not
Yeah.
trust it to
Get a
get
cot.
a cot.
Like a cot
Yeah.
would work.
Cot would be better
Well, mine-
because
yeah,
I found
mine's
out
like
those
one of
the ones that
air
goes up like
mattresses
that. My
somehow or
mattress,
another
you just push a button and it
inflate
floats up.
in the
Yeah.
middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're, although you can get the cots, which also now have the inflatable.
Well, I mean, if I was on Survivor or something, I'd stay in a tent. But, I have the ability to have air conditioning.
She wants air conditioning.
Oh no!
Well, that's
no,
what-
no. They do have.
They got cabins that
They
have
make,
everything.
No, they make coolers. They make portable air conditioners now. It's a cooler that you can use outside.
Yeah. Oh.
I know, and you can still store stuff in the cooler.
No kidding. I'm gonna have to check that out.
I know. I found a campground that's got their camper cabins. So they're campers with cabin built on, and they provide all the linen, the dishes, air conditioned bathroom.
It's a hotel.
Okay, but we can build a
hotel and a
fire out
campground.
back.
I mean,
The whole point is we're trying to get people together.
when you say going camping, I'm thinking tents.
Me
and
too. That's where I was
everything.
at. I was like, well, I can
Going
go camping.
fishing for your food.
Oh, wow.
Not Survivor and the
Not
sticks,
Survivor.
right?
Up a couple
Amputee
burgers
Survivor in
and
the
throw it
deep
over the
woods.
fire.
Take your own food.
Okay.
Take your own
thanks.
food. Set it up. I'm in.
You want to come?
I'll be the cook. Yeah.
Well, shoot, that would be
The place
great.
I'm talking about's got a grill, and they provide the propane too.
That's not a grill.
I mean, just throw a
Maids
rack
and
over the
butlers.
fire.
Right,
and
like
just
maids and
flip it.
butlers at this campground.
I'm sorry. If it uses gas, that's not a grill. That's an outdoor.
Where is this campground?
Oh, it's right in West Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a campground. It's a hotel.
the
with-
Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah.
I think they have spots you can pop a tent if you want to suffer.
That ain't suffering. It's nice. It feels good.
I love it. I do. I love camping.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of these tents nowadays.
Yeah.
They're luxury camping
Oh yeah,
tents, I'm telling you.
I mean, they have the inflatable tents, which are huge.
Yeah, but you got to pack for 3 days just to have everything you need when you get there. I want to go to a place. I'm not trying to work on vacation.
And they do have some campgrounds like where they do like you have like your structure. So it's like your home and the air conditioner.
Yeah.
And then some people like to camp in their vehicles. So you're seeing more and more of that. So you like the bed of your truck, you set up. And then you can also pitch a tent. So if you can find a place where you can get all three, then everybody can still
Everybody's
come
happy.
together
Yep.
and then sleep the way they
I'm
want.
not judging. If you want to get up and walk to a porta pot in the middle of the night, God bless you.
Porta pot.
I don't get in
Right,
there.
he's not even
House.
thinking porta pot.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
just
well-
pop,
Hole in the
squat
ground.
behind a bush.
Oh no, I ain't doing that either. Something might bite my butt.
More convenient.
I'd
I'll
fall
never
over.
forget the one time we went camping. We took our niece at the time. First time she went camping, and in the morning, I hear this noise. I'm like, "What in the world?" Because her tent, she was in a tent, but her tent site on the pole was an electrical socket, and she's out there blow drying her hair.
Oh no.
Because she went up to the where they had the showers at, and it's like, no, that's not camping.
Oh, well, Again.
So get together outdoors.
Michelle,
With
come
some
on,
luxury.
trust me, you'll have fun.
I mean, hey, look.
I'm not going on that trip. You can
Right. Exactly.
You come back with a black eye.
If you don't have fun, I'll let you push me off the anthill.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fun as long as somebody else is packing everything we need.
Well, how long are you going camping for? Only
at
for a
least-
weekend, right?
That's a lot of work for just a weekend.
It's not a lot of work.
It is. You got to take cooking stuff. You got to take food, and
It's a mess kit.
yeah. All right.
You never been
I'll
camping.
stay at
You've
the
never been
hotel
camping,
up the
have
street and come visit at nighttime.
you? You never went camping, have you?
Yeah, I used to when I was younger.
Okay, did you take a lot of stuff?
My parents did.
Oh,
My parents, I hated every minute of packing for that camping trip. And then the worst part is unpacking when you get back.
you know what? There's a big concert that they do every year. It's a festival they do every year in Darlington.
We camped at that one. I did it.
Ramble Fest. Is that
Ram-
it?
No, we went to Firefly where it was like a country music thing, and we
Okay.
camped out for 3 days and then went to the concert. That was a lot of fun.
And I think the Ramble Fest or whatever. Ramble.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I've never heard of
But
that, though.
Yeah, it's the
Straight
same
up the street.
campsite.
Now, see, I could go home every
And I
night.
think they have cabins there, probably with air conditioning.
Yeah.
Great Wolf Lodge,
Yeah.
Oh,
right
yeah.
around the corner.
You're really helping here.
I'm not trying to create work.
Just friendship.
Yeah, that's it.
Getting
I
together.
used to be a Girl Scout, and I was at camp for 6 years, and it was fun camping out there in the woods
In
and
the
stuff.
tent,
Yeah,
it was a blast, wasn't it?
yep.
Yeah.
You get, but the problem is once you
Get
start
spoiled.
upgrading,
Yeah.
you get spoiled quick.
Oh, you get spoiled. Plus, I was 50-some years old and got run over by a car. I am not trying to sleep on the hard ground. I'm just not trying to do it.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I ain't winning this battle, am I?
No, you're
She's
not.
got something for you. Everything you say, she's already thought about it.
Never mind. All right, so how do people join the group if they want to?
We're on Facebook, Amputee Friends of Harford County. So you can find us on Facebook. There's a couple questions.
Right.
Just answer the questions, and I'm the administrator, so I'll just approve
Yeah,
you.
just say hello. Hey, guys,
Yeah.
We'll all respond. Somebody
But you
will.
have to be an amputee, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Because there's I'm trying to weed out some people who are there for the wrong reasons.
Devotees.
Yeah.
Devotees
Devotees. They're people that have like an unhealthy obsession
with
amputees.
amputees. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes very.
Oh, it's a very big thing.
Yeah. It can become really hairy really quick. Then you want to see pictures of my stump.
What?
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
they like it for their sexual gratification.
And they're in the group.
No.
Oh.
We weed
No,
them.
that's who they're trying to
them
weed.
out.
That's
We
they're
weed
they're
them
weeding
out.
them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's why you got to answer.
Yeah,
the
we want them kind of people in
questions.
our. Come join our group.
I knew nothing about that until I became an amputee, and then weird things started happening, and then I'm on these other amputee sites, and these people were talking about these devotees, which I had never heard of. I had to Google it to see what the heck it was, and it's a thing. I mean,
big thing.
I think they've even called places of businesses, and or inappropriate, asking all kind of inappropriate questions.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a kind for everybody, I guess.
And then there's other ones that they try to act like, oh, well, I am getting an amputation, and you can help me do this, and then they weed you along. Can you send me this? Can you send me that? I'm like, you can Google all the pictures you need, buddy. I said, you ain't getting nothing from me.
Yeah. There's also another bizarre type out there that want to be amputees but are not. And Yes.
Yeah.
They want to, get rid of body parts for whatever reason. I don't even know.
Did you know all this, Jonas?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, he is the prosthetist.
So, yeah, I do monitor it. I do try to weed out, that unwanted type of attention.
Yeah. Because we don't want the people in the group to be, getting messaged or questioned by people like that.
Yeah,
right.
No.
So that's
it ain't happening.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw you open
there
your
are
mouth.
all
but
kinds of
nothing's
people
coming
in
out.
this world.
No, it's just as long as I've been doing this, I've heard about some strange people, and this is probably the second strangest group of people I've heard about.
Yeah.
Heard about, not heard from, not meaning.
Thanks.
Heard about. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Something very important. Tell everybody about real life prosthetics.
So Real Life Prosthetics, we opened up our doors in Harford County in 2001 in Abingdon. So that's where our main lab is, where we do all of our manufacturing. That's where our funding team is to help people navigate the realm of insurance, and where our clinical team is. So that is Houston. That's our home base. So we have between the orthotics and prosthetics facilities, and with Michelle with Align Rehabilitation, our spaces are conjoined. We have 7,000 square feet that we work in right over there in Box Hill Corporate Center. And then Real Life, over the years, we've opened up 4 more locations.
Oh, wow.
So we have an office in Towson, we have an office in Chestertown, Maryland, office in Glasgow, like Newark, Delaware, and then our northernmost point is Wilmington. So we have
Scotland.
No. So we do, we do have offices, in Maryland and Delaware. So we do serve like this region around the northern Chesapeake.
You're traveling a lot, aren't you?
Not so much anymore, but we have other practitioners who are traveling. So for me, I'm primarily at the Abingdon location, and then we have other practitioners who cover the other locations.
Now, can anybody just come to the location and do a tour?
Yes, absolutely.
I was amazed when I
Yes.
went there.
Yes.
It's impressive.
Yes, and you came through for the expansion and then the grand
Yeah.
opening for Align Rehabilitation,
Yeah.
so you got to see it firsthand. And it's nice, like we're really trying to create an environment to where amputees can come in, meet with prosthetists. We can do the design of their prosthetic device, do the manufacturing, the provision, and then over to Michelle for the rehabilitation. So amputees not like pinballing to these different specialists. They can come to one location and receive like both services
Right.
from physical therapist and prosthetist.
I have a funny feeling. What's next door to you guys?
Social Security office.
So we have Social Security,
Okay.
and then we have a dental group on the other side.
If there comes a little place available over there, you may see a local nonprofit move in there very soon to help other amputees. I'm just saying.
Oh, how about that?
We need a secretary. Can you type?
Can I type?
Yeah.
I can hook it up with somebody.
I can type. It's fine.
But we are. It's real life wouldn't be who we are without everybody here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lot of friendships. It's a lot of, the lows can be very low, the highs can be very high. I mean, we do run through the gamut like of emotions as we're living life together through the rehabilitation process. So it's not an easy journey. It's a very difficult journey in the beginning. But in time, for most amputees, like life does get easier and easier as you learn how to navigate life differently. You know, like you can hear like the stories, you know, that have been told today. It's like you do come to that moment to where it's like, okay, this is the way I am now. This is life. I'm moving on, and I'm going to learn how to navigate life differently. And I'm not going to be the woe is me. I'm going to get up and live life, and I have to live life a little differently and modify how I was used to living. Like you do break through the disability and get into, you know, a level of higher and higher ability, you know, the longer you're living life as an amputee. And the motivation is huge. I mean, just seeing this group come together has motivated me, like as their prosthetist, just seeing the friendships, you know, and going to the group and seeing a dozen amputees together, just having dinner together, talking about life together. Like that's why I'm even in the field. You know, it's the people. I mean, we're
blessed to have real life. I mean, like seriously, because Jonas and his staff, you know, they're kind, they're caring, they're understanding. And when I say, and I'm sure Rebecca can tell you the same thing, I have went in there cussing and crying, and again, it wasn't anything that they did. It was where I was at that moment, and things weren't going the way I wanted them to, as quick as I wanted them to, and you know, they thank God that they have the personalities to just kind of work with those ups and downs, because anybody else would have probably thrown me out.
Well, and that's something I wanted to point out as well, because with Dana, Jonas, and Michelle, and the rest of the staff there, a lot of people, you know, if somebody's coming in screaming and hollering, and
I don't
cussing,
recommend it.
A lot of people would just say, "No, that's it. I'm done with this," and leave, and you want to see them again. But you know what they're going through. You're there, you know, to help them. And I gotta give credit to you and Dana and everybody there, because
they've talked us off a lot of ledges. You know, it's sad. Like I never want to be like that with anybody. Thank God I had a kind of a safe place to express my, you know, where I was at that moment, and that's out of character for me. You know, and. You know, I feel for them, because they are dealing with a lot of emotions, and I'm not yelling and screaming at them, you know, you didn't do this right. I'm just frustrated at myself, at my life, and they deal with it like just like they're a counseling service almost.
But I was seeing Jonas before I even got like this. I was having trouble with my right leg, and he fitted me for a boot, so I've been with him a long time.
And you do, like you'll walk into some companies and it's a very cold, fast-paced environment. Like our company, like our entire team, I mean, we are family. And I don't know, can you feel that? Like when you come through the doors? I mean, it's
we're family,
you know,
now.
We're all family, and like our staff, like we're very much like we really care for each other. We care for those that we serve. Like we are very compassionate. I think almost to a fault. There are times like where we stay so level-headed through those high-intensity moments that it can be perceived as we don't care, or like our hearts aren't in it. But that's not the case. Like we stay steady in the midst of the storm, but it's not that we are not caring, or it's like, we'll get through this.
Well,
like,
and
it's
that's
not
what makes
that,
you
like,
so special.
Like at night, like it's, you know, we don't sleep at night, like when we don't have like legs fitting well. Like it's a roller coaster ride for us too. But you know, we're the ones that have to stay like the constant, like mellow through those intense moments. But we very much are concerned. We care. It's not a lack of motivation.
You mentioned that on the first episode that we did together, where they're not patients, they're not clients, they're family. I think
they're family, it's friends. It's even hard for me to write patient, like in my clinical note. Like a patient is like, hey, there's something wrong with you. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, it's your, you know, you're a person who lost your leg. You know, we have different hairstyles. You know, it's you know, it's you know, it's a like amputation is a characteristic of you. It doesn't define you. I think that's another point. Like in the beginning, when you're going through like trauma, like that you two have been through, or like vascular issues, it's not allowing your amputation to define who you are in your heart. And it's going through that process, coming to terms where it's like, wait, I'm not defined by my amputation. You know, I'm still the same person. So I'm this person that has an amputation, but the amputation doesn't define you. And the stronger you get, like in who you are and your character, then the less the amputation becomes as far as like identity. For me as a prosthetist, like I don't see amputations anymore. Like I mean, I'm working with residual limbs like every day, like all day long, but I see the heart, I see the person. Like I don't see the residual limb. You know, in the beginning I did, you know, going through, you know, schooling, going through the residency, being exposed to amputations, being in on surgeries. Like in the beginning, like it can be overwhelming, you know, just wrapping your mind, wow, the trauma this person has been through, you know, or just this life change. And it's you, at least for me in the beginning, I was wrestling with the amputation itself, the residual limb itself, and then like the more like that I worked with amputations, it's literally the residual limbs disappear, and it's all about the people. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
but.
no, and again, like when sometimes we have our emotional moments, you know, most people or companies would be like, look, you got to get it together.
Yeah.
You know, this is your life to deal with it. And Jonas the whole time will stay steady and be like, this is just a process. You're going to get through it. You know, I know it's, and he kind of talks you through some of those things that you're, you know, struggling with, as opposed to a lot of people would be like, get over it. You know, I'm here to make your leg. I don't want to hear, you know, about how, you know, your life sucks right now.
And our clinical staff, we're all like this. I mean, it's taken years to get to this formula. Like we have a very good team between our CPOs and then Michelle with the physical therapy, and she's building, so she's, you know, looking to hire. So we're being very careful to who we bring into the fold, that they're like-minded, you know, that they're people-driven, not money-driven. Like you're going to see those two different camps. So it's all about, you know, getting that leg out of the door, and okay, it'll fit. You'll do better. You know, we'll spend hours making adjustments, you know, trying to get, you know, things optimal. So, you know, we get paid for the delivery of a device, and that device, it includes like all of like the design, the fabrication, the provision. 3 months worth of unlimited follow-ups is all inclusive in the cost of the device. So, you know, every time we're working with somebody, it's you know, if you're looking at purely profit margins, every time we work with somebody, like we're losing more and more of that profit.
Man, I'm taking you broke.
But that's not the focus. You know, the focus is the human being, like the whole picture, mind, body, and spirit. Like it's everything. You know, we are a Christian-owned company. Throw that out there. It's you know, we do believe in that higher power. We do believe that we're here for a reason, for a purpose, and we know that life this side of heaven is short. So we do have a thriving ministry of people who really love and care for each other. You know, and it's a precious and beautiful thing that I don't take for granted, and most people, you know, in the company are hook, line, and sinker, that we're here for
That's a good company.
for this time.
Yeah,
So.
you're not going to get it anywhere, Blake.
It's carrying into your Facebook group. Well, it's not. I don't. All right, let me rephrase that. Not the Facebook group. It's a group.
Yeah.
You're just on Facebook.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you do stuff outside of the group.
Right.
I think everybody that has heart and passion and compassion, and, you know, it's a blessing. You know, real life has been a blessing, because honestly, I don't think somebody that wasn't Jesus driven could deal with me real well.
And Michelle, Jammin and I, like we were joking. It's like the lotto was at, you know, like $1 billion or something. It's like, well, if we played the lotto and won, like, what would you do? And we were both like, we would build like the ultimate facility. It's not like going on vacation or like saying goodbye to the world. It was like, we'll build like this massive center, like where it's just like so cutting edge. Like like our lives wouldn't change. Like we would stay right where we are. We were joking. We're like, wow, it's like it's that mindset. You know, it's all about the people.
I would help somebody start a nonprofit too.
What?
Oh, we're going to be.
We're going to be in touch.
Yeah, we're going to be taking you up on that, right?
Yes.
I gotta find out what your skill sets are.
Okay.
Michelle was a fond of secretary. We weren't starting a nonprofit yet, Rich. We need a secretary first, okay?
Somebody's got to be able to fill out that paperwork.
Oh, I'm not going to say that's easy stuff because you'll volunteer me. So, does anybody have anything to add?
No. I mean, I appreciate you bringing us on here.
Yeah, thank you. And if anybody out there that wants to be involved, send a request.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be the last time you're on. I have a funny feeling you guys are going to be on again.
Well, that'll be fun. We have some.
I'm always.
I mean, you're a pro at it now. I mean, I'm just going to turn everything over to you.
Oh, wow.
Jonas, ladies, thank you so much. Again, tell everybody, amputees, where they can find the group.
Amputee Friends of Harford County.
On Facebook.
On Facebook.
Website's coming next. No, you don't need a website.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Well, if we're going to start a nonprofit,
Yeah,
we might as well go
then
all
you
the way.
will.
Yeah.
Actually, anybody out there that started a nonprofit, if you can help, contact me and I'll put you in touch with them.
Feel free.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah.
But appreciate any help we can get.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going.
This is Jordan Lally with the Ed Lally Foundation and the acoustic rock band Big Infinite, inviting you to a very special live music event at the Havre de Grace Opera House on May 23rd. We will be hosting not only a concert, but an experience of togetherness and connection for everyone in attendance. And all proceeds from this event go to benefit the Ed Lally Foundation's mental health and suicide prevention outreach. We would love for you to join us. For more details or to purchase tickets, visit edlallyfoundation.org or head over to the Havre de Grace Opera House website.